Greetings, Divine Radiance. Welcome to your Tuesday Tips and Tools with me, Nahkila Isha of AshworthScott Life Sculpting. I'm a divine interpreter, psychic life coach, and mentor, assisting you with activating the divinity and wisdom within your soul so that you are empowered to create and live an abundant life. So, for today's Tuesday Tips and Tools, we're going to talk about something that we haven't talked about yet, and that is Ascension symptoms. Ascension symptoms. Does that sound a little scary? Well, don't be scared. Let's talk about it. But before we do, if you haven't subscribed already, please go ahead and do so. And if you're a return subscriber, go ahead and hit the like button because you returned for a reason. So just go ahead and give this video a thumbs up, all right? So I'd like to share something with you all. On this journey of spiritual awakening or spiritual elevating, we have highs, we have lows, we have hills, we have valleys, right? And oftentimes when we speak about this journey, we talk about all the beautiful parts of the journey or the things that feel beautiful about the journey, because in reality, the entire journey is beautiful. Right? But that doesn't mean it always feels that way. And ascension symptoms are one of those times. So when I first started my journey, I would heal a little, elevate a little, experience the bliss and blessings from that healing and elevation. And then bam, next thing I know, I'm sick with the flu, or I'm sick with a horrible cold, right? And I'm just knocked flat on my butt. I'm feeling energetically out of sorts, right? And I started to get to the point where I noticed a pattern. Each time I would elevate spiritually, emotionally, mentally, whether it was through healing or whether it was through learning or, whatever the case may be, there would always come a phase after being in that space for a while where I would experience ascension symptoms, right? So after my journey, I had been on it for a while, those symptoms stopped being physical and they shifted to being strictly energetic. So let's talk about that. Because the physical symptoms, yeah, that's pretty easy to brush off as, oh, I have a cold, or oh, I have a headache, or I'm not feeling well. But when we're experiencing those energetic ascension symptoms, that's when doubt can step in. That's when fear can step in. That's when a feeling of being disconnected from the divine and from ourselves can step in, right? And so I'm here to let you know this is a normal and natural part of your journey, right? So when I was experiencing those energetic symptoms, I would oftentimes feel kind of lost in the world, right? I would feel like I don't really belong. Now, all of these may be feelings that we've all had at some point or time on our journey before our healing and before we consciously began to ascend. However, when you're in this flow of healing and receiving results, to feel that way can be really disheartening and it can be scary at times. Not to mention, it feels like crap, right? You feel like crap when you're going through that. So, most recent, I literally just got out of my ascension symptoms Sunday, I believe Sunday. And today I'm recording this on Tuesday. So it hasn't been very long since I got out of the most recent ascension symptoms. So here's what's been going on. I've been doing a lot of self-care maintenance, because when we heal and we do the work, it's not a one-hitter quitter. This is a lifelong journey and a lifelong process where we are not only dedicated to serving, but we're dedicated to serving ourselves through our maintenance, right? We release, then we evolve, and then we maintain. That's the formula. We release, we evolve, and then we maintain. So in my maintenance phase, I do this regularly. I maintain. I do the things necessary to maintain the level that I've achieved, right? So out of nowhere, I started to feel all sorts of doubt. I started to feel alone. I had the worst headache. Now, here's the thing. Remember, I haven't had the physical symptoms in a while. It's been energetic, right? And I was feeling sad and depressed and, it was horrible, right? It was horrible. I even stopped for a minute and said, Spirit, do I have coronavirus, right? Spirit's like, no, it's ascension symptom. I'm like, okay, right? I'm all in my feelings. And so what I know has occurred is I've up leveled, right? I've been doing a lot of manifesting, a lot of healing, like I said, a lot of maintaining. And I've now reached a point where spirit is pushing me into that next phase. So, what the ascension symptoms are for, it's to give you a timeout to self-reflect, right? It's to give you a timeout to go into elevated self-care, right? Whatever you usually do to pour into your soul emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and physically, during that time, it's important to double up or even triple and quadruple up on that, right? It's a time for you to prepare yourself physically and mentally for the spiritual growth that you have just achieved and accomplished, right? So when you feel that, don't see it as a bad thing, although it may not always feel good, because literally my mom came over before we were going to the gym, and my mom just held me, and I just broke down. When I say I was bawling, I was laying on her chest and I was just bawling, and it just was like, she's like, we don't have to go to the gym today. And I said, no, we're going to the gym, right? And I cried probably for about 10 minutes. And afterwards, when we got to the gym, she's like, oh my goodness, that release, you don't even look tired anymore. So just go with it, be in flow with it, right? And the whole time that I was feeling these emotions and feeling this disconnected feeling energetically, I was grateful because I recognized what it was. And I know what this means is coming. It means that life has elevated, and with each level of elevation comes another level of blessings. And so, although I was out of it, I felt grateful. So, Spirit is having me share this with you because if you're on your journey and you haven't had this conversation before, Petra, my friend of mine, who also happens to be my VA, we started working together, and then we became sisters in light, coined it the spirit flu, right? The spirit flu. And I laugh because that's exactly what it feels like you have the flu. It feels like you have the flu. Your body can go through physical symptoms that mimic the flu. But the big thing for me is that feeling of disconnect, like that just feeling off energetically. Because I'm someone who typically feels so on, right? To feel that way energetically is like a mini torture, right? So on your journey, you may have experienced some of these things, and just understand that that is your higher self, that is the divine preparing you for that next level. So it's not something to dread. It's not something to fear. It's just something to be aware of. Start clocking your own cycles and patterns. And when you're in that moment of ascending and your physical body is catching up, just rest and just allow and just be in flow. And, there's something else I like to share with you. And I believe I touched on this a little bit, but Spirit is saying to reiterate it. So when you begin excelling spiritually, right, you are going through so many different things. Not only are you changing your mindset, not only are you changing your vibrational frequency and your energy, but you're also shifting your DNA. You are shifting on a cellular level. So this physical vessel is very dense and slow compared to our spiritual selves. So if we did not take a time out, right, it's just not going to be balanced. This physical self requires time to get acclimated with your new or higher state of being, right? So this is what creates the ascension symptoms. It's your rest period. So think of it as the weekend, right, to your week, right, of your spiritual journey. So day to day, when we're vibing high and we're in flow and we're moving and grooving, that's our week, right? And then when we have these ascension symptoms, that's our time to slow our roll, relax and rest, and just pamper ourselves. And that can look different for everybody. For me, it looks like spending lots of time in bed. It looks like spending time with self. It looks like eating nutritional foods, nutritionists. It also sometimes looks like eating something that's not filled with nutrition, right? So whatever it looks like for you, don't judge it, just flow with it, okay? And if you've been having ascension symptoms, share it with me in the comments, let me know about it. And if you'd like to have an opportunity to discuss it, join us tomorrow, or whenever you're watching this. We go live every Wednesday for Wednesday Live Empower Hour at 10:30 a.m. Pacific time, 1:30 p.m. Eastern time. So join us, whether it's tomorrow's Empower Hour or a different one, but join us so we can discuss these things, right? It's important for us to be able to have an awareness of what this journey is like, because a lot of people go into this with the thought that once I heal and release my traumas, then those feelings that create a stir or a whirlwind of emotions are gone. And it's just not the case. It's just not the case. So be grateful. If you're in the midst of an ascension symptoms episode, be grateful, because I have not had one yet that hasn't resulted in more blessing. More blessings. And when I say more blessings, I don't just mean more in numbers. I mean next level blessings, right? And sometimes those blessings come in the form of the energy of money, but most oftentimes it comes in the energy of peace. It comes in the energy of balance. It comes in the energy of love, self-love, and love for others. And it comes in those energies of the things that we feel, right, that really matter. But yes, it does mean an up level in your abundance too, your financial abundance. So if you haven't been excited about your ascension symptoms, get excited and just allow, don't fight it, just flow with it, flow with it. But share with me in the comments what your ascension has been like thus far. And if you began noticing your symptom, can't even speak today, and the symptoms are gone. But tell me what you've noticed, and tell me some of the ways that you combat it. I also recommend drinking plenty of water, also allowing yourself to connect with the colors of your produce, right? So seeing what produce really speak to you, because while you're ascending, you can be feeding your chakra centers through food. So just, go to the store and just allow yourself, the same way you select a crystal, just select your produce by colors. Don't select all of the same ones, touch different ones, hold them in your hands, the different colors, and see how you feel, so that as you're in this experience, you'll be feeding those chakras that are calling for more attention. So once you're done with that process, you're ready to go and everything's balanced. I also recommend increasing your meditation during that time, and also doing guided meditations as well as your breath focused meditation. During that time, you can state mantras, whatever that is for you. Like, you can create one, I am peace, I am calm, I am strong, I am vibrant, I am abundant, whatever you choose. I am free, right? I am happy. Or you can chant a Sanskrit mantra that aligns with where you are and where you're choosing to be. Okay. So those are just a few tips and tools on how to deal with the ascension symptoms, and just so an intro, right? So that you are aware, because when we have awareness, when we have the knowledge of what we're going through, it takes that fear out of it, right? It takes the fear out of it. So just know that your connection to the divine has not ended. Your healing has not backtracked. You are not off course. This is normal. And I'm sharing these things that Spirit is telling me. These are all things that I have felt when experiencing this, right? And even when you're aware, it doesn't necessarily take away that feeling of, I was crying and stuff like a baby, because it doesn't take it away, but it makes it easy to still be feeling your feelings, but being in that state of gratitude, right? And it lasted about 4 days for me total this time. So it doesn't last very long. And in our Activating You Soul family, there's a few members that have been experiencing the same thing. And it's been about the same length of time for those of us that are experiencing it together right now. And the fact that so many of us are experiencing it together is also really positive, because it's not just a marker for our personal growth, our personal healing, and our personal blessings that are coming, but it's a marker for us as a collective, right? It's a marker for us as a collective. So if you have been worried about the state of the world, or you've been doubting what your contribution to this world does, can you make a difference? The answer is yes, you can, and yes, you do, right? But because we're all, and I say all as in more than one of us, multiples of us are doing it right now, it's letting us know that we're winning. Hashtag winning, the light warriors are winning. So just rest assured that your work is not going unnoticed by the divine. And so don't let it go unnoticed by you. Take time to massage yourself, hug yourself, love yourself, and give yourself a pat on the back. You are doing such an amazing job. I am so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. Tell yourself that from time to time. And there's no better time than when you're in the midst of those ascension symptoms. Soothe yourself. It was nice to have my mom here. This was the first time she's been here when I've been experiencing that. But if she weren't here, you know what? Soothing yourself is just as good. Soothe yourself, love yourself, talk yourself through it. I'm proud of you. You're doing great. Keep up the great work. Stay the course. We've got this, and Spirit's got us, right? So that's your Tuesday tip and tool. Let me know how it resonated. If it served you in any way, leave a comment, let me know, and give the video a thumbs up. And if you feel that someone could utilize this tip and these tools, share the video. Okay, let's spread the love. Share the video. I thank you so much for allowing me to serve you. And I am sending you peace. I am sending you bliss. I'm sending you love. I am sending you abundance. And if you are in the midst of your ascension symptoms or your spirit flu, I am sending you healing. I'm sending you healing. And just allow yourself to be surrounded by the love of your angels and the love of your guides and the love of your ancestors and your helpful companions, all of highest light and love. You are not alone. You are not alone. And if you're seeking assistance with your ascension and with your healing, guess what? There's a link in this description box, and you can go ahead and click it and schedule a consultation with me, okay? I love to serve you. I thank you again, and I'll talk to you soon.